Right now at 10, at least 5 people are dead from Hurricane Dorian. How U.S. officials are now preparing for this dangerous storm. And school starts for many students across the state tomorrow. How they are spending their final day of summer break. Plus, Ring doorbells are becoming more popular on homes in our neighborhoods. But could guarding your home compromise your privacy? A story tonight.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Thanks for joining us. The Prime Minister of the Bahamas has announced Hurricane Dorian has killed at least 5 people there. The Red Cross estimates 13,000 homes were damaged or destroyed when Dorian made landfall as a Category 5. And the National Hurricane Center predicts the storm will keep lashing Grand Bahama Island, the now Category 4 storm, slowly moving toward the southeastern United States with 25 million people in its projected path. The storm prompting hurricane watches and warnings from Florida up to South Carolina. More than 5.5 million people have been ordered to evacuate, including coastal areas east of Interstate 95 in Georgia.
I want to be very clear. They will be on their own if first responders are unable to reach them.
Nearly 4 million of those under mandatory evacuation orders are in the state of Florida. 93 nursing homes and 7 hospitals there have been evacuated. Much calmer Labor Day around here for us. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti now with your first alert forecast. Gary.
All right, first let's take a look at the very latest information on Dorian, which has just come in from the National Hurricane Center. It's still a very powerful hurricane, maximum sustained winds 130 miles per hour. It hasn't moved very much at all today, but eventually, according to the latest forecast track, it'll move very slowly toward the northwest with maximum sustained winds between about 120 and 130 miles per hour as it passes just to the east of Jacksonville, Florida. The computer model's in much better agreement, but still enough uncertainty that the Carolinas could get a direct landfall from this should it move a little farther to the west. And then eventually Dorian will head northeastward and weaken in the northern portion of the Atlantic Ocean. Now around here, we're watching a line of thunderstorms sweeping across Minnesota. Severe thunderstorm watch is in effect until 2 a.m. for La Crosse and areas to the north and west. There's an enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms tonight north and west of Camp Douglas, but that risk diminishes the farther east you go because the storms are expected to weaken later on tonight. High temperatures today in the lower 80s, some 70s to our north and east. There's a temperature contrast across the state. Right now, temperatures range from 68 in Madison to the low 70s over southwestern Wisconsin, where dew point temperatures are around 70. Look for thunderstorms tomorrow morning and then maybe another chance tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow's high at 80. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
Gary, thank you. A search rescue operation is underway now off the coast of California after a fire broke out on a boat overnight. This was near Santa Cruz Island. Santa Barbara County Sheriff says 8 bodies have been recovered and 26 people remain missing. The Coast Guard says 39 people were aboard the Conception, which is a dive ship. It was a 3-day scuba diving excursion to the Channel Islands where there was a 6-member crew, 33 passengers when that fire broke out about 3 this morning and quickly engulfed the boat.
We will search all the way through the night into the morning, but I think we all should be prepared to move into the worst outcome.
The National Transportation Safety Board is sending a team to investigate that incident. It is not known what caused the fire. Police say a man suspected in an armed attack in Madison was found hiding in the trunk of a woman's vehicle. This happened on the east side of Madison Sunday night. Madison police responded to a report from an 18-year-old man who said someone was threatening him with a gun. An officer arrived and saw the suspect striking the victim shortly before the suspect fled on foot and then in a vehicle leaving the area. That vehicle was spotted at North Thompson Drive and Highway 30. The deputy stopped it, detained the driver, a 19-year-old woman. Police say law enforcement officers then searched the vehicle and found the 23-year-old suspect in the trunk. 2 fake handguns were also found. A man is facing multiple charges after he threatened people with a knife in an incident on a near East Madison Street today. Madison police say just after 10, 31-year-old Tony Olson was walking in the 800 block of East Main Street with a man and a woman. Police said Olson pulled a knife and verbally threatened them. When officers arrived, he still was holding that knife before tossing it to the ground and was then taken into custody. Police say no one was injured. Olson now facing tentative charges of second-degree reckless endangerment, disorderly conduct while armed, carrying a concealed weapon, and 2 counts of felony bail jumping. Well, many kids and parents are spending tonight getting ready for that first day of school tomorrow. But today, they got to enjoy their last day of summer break. And Amy Reed joins us now to show us how they spent it. Amy?
Yeah, I hope that you enjoyed it. Today was essentially the last day of summer. Now, if the kids aren't already in school, they will be this week, and UW students are back too. I caught up with people at James Madison Park to find out how they spent their last hurrah. There's something about that last gasp of summer.
We're just out here at James Madison, cooking brats, eating burgers, enjoying the sun while it's still here.
Of course, this'll all be here tomorrow. The water, the volleyball, the beer. But today, it tastes like freedom, even if your time with school is all over and done, like for Kelly, who graduated in May.
No, it's pretty good. I'm kind of excited to not have to go back and not study. I can do this every weekend if I want.
For the rest of us, it's back to reality, or the start of a new one.
You want to climb up here with me? It's the first time we're sending her off to school, so it's a little bit exciting, a little bit scary for us.
Sam sends Grace to kindergarten tomorrow. She's the oldest and they're first to send off.
My wife is the one dropping her off at school, so I don't have to worry about crying in front of everybody.
It makes these moments before that all starts even better. Those moments before fall gets here, especially if you're like Nicholas.
I don't really like fall. Fall's cool until Halloween, then it's cold and gray. But until then, it's beautiful.
Yeah, when your summers look like these, it can be hard to say goodbye. But remember, this isn't going anywhere too fast. It'll all be here tomorrow.
Just wait a little bit. Spring and summer are coming just as soon as you know it.
Of course, this isn't the technical end of summer. Season-wise, you have 3 more weeks. Then September 23rd, fall officially begins.
Still, though, this kind of symbolizes it, right? This is when the fun kind of ends. Hopefully the weather at least cooperates for the next few weeks. Amy, thanks. And positive messages are being written on sidewalks. This was at Kennedy Elementary School. Ahead of the school year, students and parents participating in the Chalk the Walk event. They hope it makes everyone's first day of school a little brighter.
The idea is just get people really excited for the first day of school and to maybe put some positive messages out there that maybe not every child gets to hear in the morning and just help them set their day off right, because mornings can be tough, especially on the first day of school. So we're really excited to maybe get people excited tonight and tomorrow morning about school.
And this is the 3rd year that parents and students wrote those positive messages on those sidewalks. UW-Madison students and union members taking in the sights of the Terrace. Wheelhouse Studio hosting the Terrace Paint-tacular, considered Madison's largest paint event. UW students and UW union members created a terrace chair with a sunset design use of watercolor pencils and watercolor paper drawing during the annual event. Organizers say Paint-tacular is a great event ahead of the new school year.
It's a great way to kick off the school year. Students are excited to start the semester and families come out and we have a great time.
Wheelhouse Studio says it's providing art classes all year long, offering free Art Fridays on the first Friday of the month for all students and union members. Labor Day honors working people and offers a chance at relaxation, which comes in handy considering studies now show 2/3 of employees report feeling burned out, either sometimes or always. Mike and Laura Vallada say they've experienced both burnout to some degree, both working long days and taking work stress home with them from time to time. So they tell us having a relaxing day like this at the union with their daughter, that's a big help. Mike says we often spend so much of their lives working, it's hard to take a step back on those other days.
It doesn't really give you time to reflect on why you're actually doing it. It's just you're doing it to make your income, and then you can enjoy the things that you want. So Labor Day is just kind of, for me, it's almost like a day of sitting back and reflecting of why am I doing this and what are my goals.
Mike and Laura say another factor that adds to burnout is feeling like they are always working, because no matter where they are, they can always be reached, like so many of us, by email and texts on our smartphone. 3, 2, 1, go! Families gathering at the Vilas Park Shelter for the annual Labor Day Dash today. Participants can do a 5K run walk, a 10K run, or there's one doing the Tot Trot. That's a mini dash for the smallest participants. The money raised there going towards Safe Harbor Child Advocacy Center.
You know, we depend on community support to keep our doors open. We have to fundraise like 30% of our budget every year. So we depend on events like this and the support of the community to really come out.
Safe Harbor Child Advocacy Center celebrating its 20th anniversary. And a celebration in Madison today honors labor. The South Central Federation of Labor hosted its annual Labor Fest. The free event featured band performances, magic shows, face painting, This was at the Madison Labor Temple grounds on Park Street. Several 2020 Democratic presidential hopefuls hit Labor Day events all across the country in an effort to reach voters. Candidates were out in Iowa, New Hampshire, California, and Illinois, spreading their message this Labor Day to voters who will be some of the first to weigh in on the party's nominee. Labor Day marks a pivot to the fall campaign season for next year's caucuses and primaries. Only 10 Democratic candidates qualified for the debate this month. Frontrunner, former Vice President Joe Biden, says that won't necessarily make the debate any better.
I just think being able to actually debate is better. So if that meant you had more debates split up, that would be probably better, so we have a chance to find out what we really think about things.
And the next presidential debate will be September 12th. That'll be in Texas. Over the weekend, the Democratic National Committee also announced another debate. That'll be October 15th in Ohio. More to come on News 3 Now at 10. Up next, the growing partnership between police departments and the popular doorbell camera Ring. It's raising some privacy concerns nationwide, but is there any reason for alarm? The story next. More and more these days, you see video of local crimes, maybe even here on News 3 Now, captured by Ring doorbells. Well, now law enforcement agencies all across the nation want to create a bit of a surveillance network with Ring doorbells. Some see it, though, as too much surveillance. Local agencies want you to know you're the one who controls what they see.
Knows what time I left the house in the morning.
Dan Thompson likes his tech gadgets.
Not that I think I'm in a risky area or anything, but it's peace of mind.
This software engineer takes comfort in the security that a Ring doorbell brings to his West Madison home.
We got it primarily after my wife had started an in-home daycare.
An extra set of eyes for a variety of reasons, but when Amazon bought Ring last year, it wasn't soon after that they introduced their Neighbors app.
I was kind of uncertain as to where they were going with that, but then it became pretty clear that it was kind of looking to be like a social neighborhood watch kind of thing.
And these days, you and your neighbors may not be the only ones watching.
Our intent behind partnering with Ring Neighborhood is to partner with the community.
Earlier this year, the Dane County Sheriff's Office joined other law enforcement agencies around the country in partnering with Ring.
It's another tool to assist in identifying suspects and solving crimes and bringing resolution to victims of crime.
And while the mission is to make neighborhoods safer, a lot of people wondered, including Dan Thompson, can the police always watch me whenever they want?
For them to have unfettered access would be crazy.
If we want the video, we have to ask for permission to use it.
It was something that Dan had to dig into a little more.
When I was researching these things, I was making sure to note the only times where Ring would ever share my video. And it's only when I say they can, or if they have a legal obligation to provide it to some agency through some legal order.
I don't foresee a case in which a homeowner that didn't want us to have access to their video, that we would try to circumvent that.
But legal experts and privacy advocates have voiced concern about creating a state of constant surveillance at every user's front doorstep. Ring has now partnered with some 400 law enforcement agencies nationwide, 9 of them in Wisconsin, including the Beloit PD and Dane County in recent months.
Ring is coordinating with police agencies across the country to get them to start using this portal. And then when police agencies do, they get to know where there are Ring cameras set up, and then they can ask somebody if they can get that footage.
On its website, Ring clarifies its privacy stance, quote, only content that a neighbor's user chooses to share on the app is publicly accessible through the app or by your local law enforcement. Ring does not view or share a user's videos that are not posted to the app without the user's express permission or a valid and binding legal demand properly served on us. Dane County says it's already worked elsewhere, and they'll take all the help they can get.
Because at the end of the day, it's about solving crimes that have been committed, and through the knowledge of this technology, hopefully preventing future crimes from occurring.
And the Madison Police Department also tells us they are signing on with the Ring partnership soon. It is not up and running just yet in the city of Madison. Spokesman Joel Despain tells us, quote, having an identified pool of homeowners with Ring technology all wanting to work with police to make Madison an even safer place is a win-win. We turn to local weather now as Gary watches our forecast, but certainly also keeping an eye on Dorian down there off the coast of Florida. Gary?
Yeah, Dorian will affect us indirectly by keeping high pressure over us, keeping our weather quiet for much of next week. But in the short term, we're watching some storms to our north and west. Now today, we started out with some clouds, then we had a little bit of sunshine mixed in, and then you had those clouds pop up to the point where there were a couple of isolated showers and thunderstorms, but there also, most of us stayed dry through the evening hours. Now, as we take a look at a severe thunderstorm watch that's been issued, that's in effect until 2 a.m. for the La Crosse area and back toward the northwest into southeastern Minnesota. Right now, things pretty quiet across southern Wisconsin, even though showers have been dying out. But look what's going on to our north and west. There's that big line of thunderstorms sweeping through the Twin Cities. The southern part of it's starting to break up a little bit, and now the storms moving more in an east-southeasterly direction than south and east. So hopefully that'll keep the bulk of the stronger storms into central Wisconsin and away from the Madison area. Storm Prediction Center still has an enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms about as far southeast as Camp Douglas, a slight risk to Madison, and then a marginal risk south and east of Madison. By the time the storms get to the Madison area, they should be weakening, be about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, maybe even a little bit earlier with the fast movement of these storms, but those storms should be weakening. Gusty winds and hail will be the main threats. Then those storms will fire up tomorrow afternoon ahead of a cold front, but the front will be through before the storms really start to get going. So the better chances of severe weather will be from Milwaukee southward into the Chicago area, just a marginal risk across our viewing area in case the storms pop up a little sooner than the current forecast. But the live view from the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison tonight, pretty quiet out there, but it is rather mild, and that's because it's humid. High today 83, the low temperature is 60. Right now our temperature is at 68 degrees, but the dew point's at 65. So the temperature is only going to fall a couple of degrees more. The humidity is at 90%. Temperatures right now range from 50 in Superior to 68 in Madison and 77 degrees in La Crosse. So there's a big temperature contrast. That's where this line of storms is moving, right into that temperature contrast zone and right along the jet stream. But notice the rest of the country pretty quiet for this Labor Day, other than, of course, Dorian off the Florida coast. But even the jet stream winds that are coming in from the northwest here swing around to the southwest and hopefully will steer Dorian just far enough off the eastern seaboard to prevent it from making landfall in the United States, which would be bad enough. It's still going to pose an impact as far north as the Carolinas. We're watching that line of storms heading southeastward, again, right along that stationary front that divides temperatures right now in the 50s and 60s to the north, to 70s and even a few low 80s to the south. And look at the dew point temperatures along and south of that front in the low 70s just out to the west of us. But as those storms head southeastward, notice the dew points drop off a little bit, so it's not quite as humid. That hopefully will weaken the storms as well. Forecast for the overnight hours. Look for a round of thunderstorms toward morning, low temperature dropping to 66. For tomorrow, thunderstorms in the morning, then turning partly sunny, windy, warm, and humid with a high of 80, and a chance of an afternoon thunderstorm. But you can see on future track, the better chances are going to be overnight, and that's at the time of day where the atmosphere is a little bit more stable. Temperatures mid-60s overnight. Tomorrow, those storms pop up, but look where the line of storms is by 4 p.m. The cold front already passed us, so hopefully that'll limit the severe weather threat here. Tomorrow night, we'll turn partly cloudy and cooler with lows in the mid-50s, and on Wednesday, high temperatures only get up into the upper 60s. Rainfall amounts will be spotty, quarter to a half inch, some places over an inch in a heavier shower or thunderstorm, but that's more the exception rather than the rule. But take a look at the extended forecast. Low to mid-70s Thursday and Friday. Then as we head into the weekend, cooler weather, some showers Sunday, thunderstorm chances Monday into Tuesday, then mid-70s for the middle part of next week.
You know, in those classrooms, and yes, there are still those out there without air conditioning, not a bad first week. Tomorrow will be a little hot and sticky.
Tomorrow will be sticky, but after that, it'll be very nice for the rest of the week.
Looking good, Gary. Thank you. Sure. The leash will be long for Aaron Rodgers when the Packers take on the Bears this week. We'll hear from head coach Matt LaFleur next.
Packers head coach Matt LaFleur is going to be calling the plays Thursday against the Bears. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers is going to be running them unless the Bears change things up at the line of scrimmage, and number 12, dun dun dun, has to change the play. The Rodgers-LaFleur relationship has been under a microscope this entire preseason, but Rodgers says they're friends, and LaFleur says as far as the rules go about changing plays, there are no rules.
Yeah, absolutely. We've given him, you know, all the freedom. So if he sees something, and he's got the green light to do whatever he needs to do to get us into a good play, we're not going to take that from him.
Like the Packers, the Bears chest thumping over their 100th year of football, and they think it's going to be a big one, coming off 12 wins in the NFC North title a year ago. Second-year head coach Matt LaFleur isn't getting ready to talk about his team's legacy. They're just getting ready for Thursday.
We got to only worry about one thing, and that's today's practice. And I'm not saying that, you know, that's real. We got to worry about today, and then worry about tomorrow, and then let's go try to get that first win.
After a college football opening weekend that left a few coaches and programs reeling from big-time upsets, Wisconsin head coach Paul Chryst and the Badgers weren't burning up Twitter. They just ran over South Florida Friday night and started getting ready for Saturday's home opener against Central Michigan. The Wisconsin offensive line had to replace 4 starters from a season ago, but Jonathan Taylor had no worries about the big guys up front.
We have Tyler Biadasz back, which was huge. A lot of people talked about our young offensive line, but for him being our anchor, being able to lead those younger guys, I knew we would be fine at that position.
That's what we're keeping striving for, is to be great every week. We have a great group, and I'm excited. You know, we put up, you know, how many points up on the board. Like it's a really good, but we definitely can get better from it, and I'm excited.
The Crew trying to get something going after taking 2 out of 3 at Wrigley with the help of back-to-back shutouts. Monday, the Brewers welcomed the 89-win Houston Astros to Miller Park for some day-game action. Top 1, Yasmani Grandal does not like to waste time. First pitch he sees, opposite field home run, gives the Crew a 1-0 lead. Fast forward, 2-1 bottom 9. The shift is on. Christian Yelich could care less. This is how he beats it. His 43rd homer of the season ties the game at 2. We head to extras. Top 10. They call this the Springer Dinger. George Springer to dead center off Junior Guerra. Astros win 3-2 in Game 1. The Cubs haven't scored a run since Friday. Didn't do it until drinking some water and playing the bottom of the 7th today. Anthony Rizzo, liner to center. Jason Hayward scores, and it's tied at 1. The bases are loaded. Kyle Schwarber is going to unload them by hitting the baseball off of a base. That made it 4-1. The Cubs would add another. They win 5-1 and lead the Brewers by 4 in the wild card. We are back right after this.
Gary rejoins us. Final check. Keep an eye on those storms out there.
Yeah, they're passing through the Twin Cities metro area right now. Tornado warning for part of Hennepin County in the southwestern portion of the Twin Cities metro area, and a number of severe thunderstorm warnings along that line. But you can see it's steadily moving toward the southeast. Across southern Wisconsin, nothing imminent, but there is a severe thunderstorm watch nearby. It's La Crosse until 2 a.m. Temperatures right now upper 60s to the lower 70s, with dew point temperatures mid 60s to around 70. High of 80 tomorrow with thunderstorms in the morning, perhaps late in the afternoon, and then more thunderstorm chances next week, but temperatures a little cooler after that.
All right, Gary, thanks a lot. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10. We hope you had a great Labor Day.
Now.